Hello, everyone. So today we're going to be going over an overview of our pet adoption portal. This is our web application that we created as our final project. So just to going into a quick introduction of myself. So my name is Joanna Loja. I am a Kean University graduate student and graduating with computer information systems degree, hopefully in 2026. And I'll go ahead and pass it over to Helen so she can do her quick introduction.
My name is Hellen Rivera. I am also a Kean University graduate, majoring in computer information systems as well.
Okay, great. So this is just a quick rundown of our agenda for our presentation today. So we're going to be going over the opening, front end, back end, the architecture. Again, just an agenda, just as a walkthrough of what we'll be covering today in our presentation. So starting first with our opening and problem statement for the reason why we created our pet adoption portal. So when it comes to pet adoption, it's crucial to have something that is very user friendly. And in most cases, what we see is that usually pet adoption centers are not really online, and it's more so of a hassle for individuals that are looking to adopt to go through different shelters to be able to see what their options are. So our solution is to be able to create this adoption portal that a bunch of adoption centers can potentially use to make to make it easier for them to list their pets and for their pets to be adopted in a faster manner. So this is on the right, you'll be able to see just a quick diagram of how the pet adoption center was created or the portal was created. So we use Angular as our front end, Node.js and Express API as our back end. And then we also use Email.js as a service for communication with the actual adoption center and then the users.
So we'll be talking about our front end tech overview for our project. So from a user's perspective, the experience needs to be both smooth and engaging. This will allow users to stay on our page for longer with no frustrations and know what now or what's next questions. That's why our front end uses Angular with TypeScript, which gives us a responsive, type safe, and modern user interface. We chose a very visually appealing color scheme that which allows the user to feel more welcome. We also added animations, which allows the user to engage with our webpage a little bit longer. We put floating paw prints around the page or in the corner of the page to make it a little bit more fun and different.
Okay, so going into the backend architecture, so as mentioned previously, we use Node.js and Express.js for the modular structure. We also use Mongoose for the database, object modeling, and then the validation. And just a brief overview or just a snippet here, I included up the backend folder. So we can see in the backend, we have the different components that we have structured in order to be able to manage the information that's going into the database and updating and being deleted from the admins end. So we can see here the two JS files that we have here, the server.js and cdata.js. That's where we store all of that information and everything is being kind of managed through there.
So for our front end architecture, our Angular structure is organized into standalone components. Our components are home, pets, manage pets, and login pages. So here's our folder structure, which I'm going to explain now. We have this big folder, which is our source folder, and in that source folder, we have an app folder, which contains all these standalone components. So the first component is home, which contains the HTML, the SCSS, and the TS codes, which allows us to create that homepage. We have the login structure, which has again the login components, the login HTML, login SCSS file, and then the TS. Same with the managed pets and for pets. They're kind of structured the same, obviously with different codes, but this allows us to be more organized and allows us to debug our code faster.
All right, so moving on to the database and API overview. So again, this we use MongoDB, and these are the schema fields that are set up within that database. So we have name, breed, age, description, and image. And basically, it allows for our different CRUD operations, which include the create, read, update, and delete operations. And it allows us to, again, manage those updates on the back end so it reflects on the main page for the users that are going into our web application. So there's a small just code snippet that I included there of how the schema looks actually in the back end. And you can see that that's how our different pets are listed on the back end and in the database.
So now we're going to talk about components and UI integration. So for our pets components, it fetches the data from an API using Angular HTTP client, and it filters out already adopted pets, so we don't have to worry about the mix-up. We designed the gallery to be fully responsive and easy to navigate on mobile devices.
So going into the API overview. So again, our overall objective for this application was to have a database that controls and allows the admin user or anyone managing that page to be able to again add, update, and delete pets to make sure that the website is up to date. So again, we have the options of getting all the pets, posting new pets, again, putting and deleting and removing anything that's any pet that's been already adopted in that case.
So now we're going to talk about the public interface. In the public interface view, users can browse the pet gallery, view details, and click inquiry to send emails to us using email.js. We also added a chat bot using Chatbase, which allows users to ask questions about pets' lives or any questions about any other breeds. This allows curious first-time owners to engage in our page a little more. So when we go to the homepage that we will show in a bit, we navigate to the homepage and then we go to Pets Gallery, which shows us the card info for the pets, like name, breed, age, and description. And then on the bottom, you'll see it says send inquiry.
Okay, so now moving on to the admin interface. So again, it's kind of repetitive, but again, the admin will be allowed to be able to add, delete, and then instantly update the public gallery. So just the demo path would be, adding pet, deleting pet, and then checking public gallery to make sure that those changes reflect on the user end.
Now to wrap up our pet adoption portal integrates a full stack RESTful API, responsive Angular front end, and a MongoDB backend. For future improvements, we can include authentication and role-based access, search and filtering, which makes it easier for users to search specific pets or specific breeds or specific ages, which makes it more user-friendly, or include cloud-based image storage, and also maybe even include a mobile app version. Now we're gonna show a live demo of the web page. So now here is a live demo of our project. As you can see, we have the title of our adoption center. These images and these titles and the color scheme of the whole project can be customizable to the adoption center's needs or wants. We chose this warm color scheme because it allows the user to feel very welcome. And it's also very aesthetically pleasing to the eye. If you scroll down to the bottom, you will see the general purpose of our adoption center and our project in general. We do have a button that says, I want to search for my new best friend. If you click on it, it will take you to the available pets in our database or in our adoption center in general. As you see, as you scroll through the images, you will see the descriptions, the names, the breeds, the age of each of these animals, along with an inquiry button on the bottom that allows you to click on it and enter your information, like your name, your email, and the message that you want to send us. And this will automatically go to our company email that we created specifically for these type of questions um or applications for these animals. As you see, you send the email and we get it to our company email. So going back to the page, we also added this floating paw print that follows us throughout every single navigation page, which allows, again, the user to feel very welcome, very warm, and it's very fun and creative, which allows people to stay on our webpage longer.
Okay, so moving into the just a quick chat bot here we included here. We integrated it within our web page. So it's pretty straightforward and basically allows the user to ask any questions about maybe a specific breed that they may be interested in. So this prompt here, it says, do you have any questions about how to take care of a specific breed? Ask away. So you can ask, how do, like if I'm a user and I'm interested in Milo, who's a tabby cat, I can say, how do I take care of a tabby? And then it's going to respond with just a different breakdown of, how to properly feed your cat, how to hydrate it, how many maybe visits they should have, and so forth. If you have, other questions maybe that you're not sure of because you're trying to choose the right pet for you, like another example could be how long do tabby cats live for? And it'll answer. Usually it lives from around 12 to 15 years and so forth. So you also have the option of adding emojis, again, to make it more engaging to the user to kind of have a conversation with the chatbot. But again, it's all more about keeping the user engaged and making sure that they're able to use everything properly. So then once you're done with that, you can end the chat and that, and then we'll go into the admin interface option. So these are only for admins that have access to be able to log into to the website to be able to add and delete pets. So we're going to go ahead and enter our email, which is our email that we created for the adoption center. And then we're going to go into entering our password, logging in, and then this is where we manage our pets. So I'm going to add a pet for this example. So I'm going to add Mona. She's a Scottish Fold. She's one, and I can put a brief description. Mona is very playful and friendly. And looking for, and then we can add the picture. So we have the option of being able to add an image URL or uploading an image file. I'm going to be using a file since I have a picture of Mona saved. I'm going to open. It shows a preview of how it's going to look, and then I'm going to add the pet. So now we can see down here that Mona has been added to our admin interface where we can see all of the other pets listed. But we want to make sure that she shows up in our available pets page. So we're going to reload this and we can see that Mona is there, which is what we want. so we can see the description, and then we can inquire about her as well. But if I want to go back into our admin page now, remove a pet, I can do that as well. So let's say Mona was adopted. I can go in here and click delete. It's going to make sure that I want to delete it. And yes, I do. So I press OK. And then we can see that she's been removed from our admin interface and then has also been removed from our user interface. So that's just a quick run through of what our portal does and the capability of it. So now we're just going to quickly go over how our mobile app, our mobile view looks. Again, we want to make sure that it's user friendly to mobile app users as well, or I should say people that are accessing the website through their phone. So if we have it on a mobile app, which we do now, so you'll be able to see this is what the view looks like. You'll still be able to go in to search a friend. Everything fits within the page. And if we make it smaller, it's being condensed. So it's one pen instead of the three that we had in the main page. If we want to access the chatbot, we can. And everything is working properly. It's customizable for the user. So that is going to conclude our presentation for today in our Pet Adoption Center. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to message.